Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on an Ariens ST724 snowblower. This is a real old one, but it's actually in really good shape for being how old it is. Anyways, we know we had a really bad winter last year, and now everybody's getting their snowblowers ready early this year just in case we have a snow like last year. So we're going to do some basic maintenance on it, clean the carburetor, change oil and everything on it. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, the first thing I want to check is make sure the skid plates are in good shape and they're on the ground, and there's like a little gap on that cutting edge underneath. Make sure the auger shear pins ain't broken. Make sure the propeller is spinning freely and it's not binding up. All that looks like it's in really good shape. We're going to go ahead and take this cover off to get to the carburetor, and your push button electric start is right on top of that top bolt. So we have to loosen that push button electric start so we can get to that 5/16 inch bolt underneath of that, so we can get that cover off. Move that out of the way, and there's a 5/16 bolt right there. And there's one by the dipstick we have to take off too. Then we can take off these two Phillips screws right here, but first we'll pry this choke knob off. They're just pressed down there. Just be careful because this older stuff might be getting kind of brittle, but here's like a little place for that to go in. We'll go and take that off. As you can see, they must put new fuel lines on it at one time, a new primer line. But that gas smells old. And I see the intake. There's like a little intake between the cylinder and the carburetor. It's a little bit loose. It rocks. So when we get this carburetor off, we're going to go ahead and tighten that up. Let's unhook the fuel line. If there's any gas left in it or anything, we're going to drain it out, put fresh gas in there for them. This gas, it's probably been in here since last winter. Kind of break that loose and just kind of we'll get something to drain that gas in. Starting to get ripe. It ain't, I smell worse gas, but sure a lot of the octane's out of it already. And we'll go ahead and take the primer line off. There we go. Take the carburetor out. Looks like a 7/16. See how loose that is? You can tell it was sucking air in there, so I'm sure it wasn't running very good. But we'll get that all fixed. I don't know if you can see, but that gas is really yellow. We might have to take that muffler off. Can't get a good bite on that nut right there. Well, there we go. Just barely got it. There we go. Well, we gotta be careful so we don't stretch the spring out. There we go. See how loose that is? I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Make sure the gasket ain't torn and stuff. And see? A big hole in the bottom. That air was getting sucked in there. So I'm gonna go find me a gasket real quick. Well, that's probably why they brought it here, running rough like that. Okay, we got our new gasket. Okay, I'm gonna use the impact, really make it tight. I'm sure these older snowblowers have a lot of vibration in them, you know, so. There we go. There's not gonna be no air leakage in that anymore. But I'm still gonna take the carburetor apart and make sure there ain't no jets or anything clogged up or anything. So I'm gonna spray off the outside with carburetor cleaner before we tear it apart. But you can just see that yellowish. Okay, on these older Tecumsehs, it's a 7/16 on the bottom. This is your mixture screw or your jet. And there is some crap in there. Then we got this idler screw on the side here. There's like a little washer with a rubber O-ring in there. There's that little brass washer. O-ring, that O-ring is just smashed to crap. So I'm just gonna go ahead and boil this out. And on these old brass floats, shake them around. Sometimes they'll split and they'll put fuel in them, but this one feels empty. So I'm going to go ahead and boil it out. We're just going to put a nice kit in that thing. While the carburetor is being cleaned, we're going to go ahead and drain the oil. And as you can see, the extension from the drain plug, it's going to come down and run right into this handlebar and it'll leak down here. So we're going to loosen that up, and I'm going to try wedging this in here so we can get the oil to drain out a little bit better. Oil will stay away from the frame of the snowblower and stuff. I keep everything clean. That is pretty black oil. Like I said, these snowblowers had a heck of a run last winter. But we're just draining into an old coffee cup here. So we'll let that drain. And the carburetor has like 5 minutes left on it, and we'll go ahead and put the carburetor together. Well, that's draining. We might as well put a new spark plug in there. It has a Briggs plug in there, J19s, but we'll put a regular Champion plug in there. Same thing, this has a Briggs logo on it. Make sure you got it gapped to 35,000 with their J19 LM. Go ahead and snug her up. Now we'll just wait till the carburetor's done. Okay, just got out the ultrasonic cleaner and I sprayed out all the holes and everything. So now we're going to get this old seat out for the needle. Just take a small screwdriver and just push it in there and just turn it a little bit. And take your air gun, put it in the inlet there, and it'll blow it right out. And we got our new seat right here. There's a rigid side and a smooth side. The rigid side goes in first. Then I like to use a 3/16 drill bit with the end nice and smooth, no spurs on it or nothing. And you just push it in there and push down, press it in there. And it's all locked in there. Then just blow a little air in there to make sure there ain't no debris in there. And we'll grab our new needle. And we'll go ahead and put it on the float. Line it up. Put the pin in there. And you kind of want to adjust this a little bit. See how it's bent down like that? Just kind of pry that up, so about right there. Grab our new bowl gasket. And on this bowl, this indented part, that goes on this side over here. Make sure your pin's equal. Put down like that. Now on these older Tecumsehs, your adjustment screws here, and like this O-ring for the idler screw is really bad. We have one in here too. Just don't lose that brass washer. See how bad shape that O-ring is? Don't even look like an O-ring. That just brittle as all get out too. So you put the brass washer on first. Grab our new O-ring. And just go ahead and get it started. Don't screw it in there all the way. We're going to adjust this. Go ahead and tighten that down. Okay, this hand screwed in, so you can't screw it in no more. All right, and turn it out 1 1/2 or 1 1/4. So there's our line right there. There's 1/2. There's 1 1/2. And once we get it started, either if it's going to run rich, you have to turn it in, or it's going to run lean, and you have to turn it out. But that's just a good starting point. Now for our idler jet, go and put that brass washer on there. Grab our new O-ring. Get it on there. And you go ahead and screw it in till it's snug. And just back it out 1/2 and 3/4. It's like 3/4. Normally, half's about perfect, but we'll put it right there. And we'll see how it runs when it's idling. If it's running kind of rich or lean, we can adjust that. So now it's all ready to get put on the snowblower now. Okay, we'll grab our carburetor. We got our intake gasket. We'll put it was in that hole right there. You can see how it's kind of a little wore out right there. We'll put our gasket on. Nut started here. These older ones are a little bit tricky. But once you get these nuts started, it's pretty easy. Try a magnet once. When you have big fingers, it's hard to get everything lined up. Probably would have been easier if I took that muffler off. I think I might have it started here. No, guess not. After a little persuasion there, finally got that one on there tight. Now I can go back and tighten this one here. Okay, now we can hook up the lines now. So let's hook up the primer line. And see, that definitely don't rock around no more. So we definitely don't have an air leak there. Get this one started. And I got to go buy that dipstick over there and get that other one started. Then we'll get these here lined up. Then we'll go ahead and tighten them all. Okay, now we're going to start them 2 Phillips screws. Go ahead and tighten them down. Now we can go ahead and put that electric starter button back on. Okay, now we got to put oil in it. And I'm going to take this cover off. The belts are under this cover here. I want to check out them belts too real quick. So we'll get the oil. And it's a wintertime engine, so we use 1030. It even says here on this tag, surprised that tag's still good, but it says summer, 30 weight. Wait, well, it says 530, but we use 1030. So I'll get the oil put in, and we're gonna go ahead and take this cover off and check the belts out. There's a 3/8 bolt here. And there's one on the other side. Belts look pretty good. They must have been replaced. And no cracks in them. The front one runs the propeller, and the back one here, that's what runs your drive disc on your transmission. So anyways, I'll put the cover back on that, get it off the table, put some fuel in there, and let's see if we can't get this thing running. Okay, we got premium in there. Went ahead and used our plug in here. Set it on choke. Push the primer button. Turn the key on. Put the throttle to fast. Boy, for an older Ariens, the thing sure runs good. Anyways, that was the main problem, I believe, is that adapter plate between the carburetor and the cylinder had that hole in the gasket. I believe that was probably the main problem why it wasn't running right. But we went through the whole thing. It's all ready for them for the winter time. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please press the like button and subscribe. Anyways, have a good afternoon. Bye.